What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another long-awaited episode of Records and Rants. My name is Ice, and with us, as always, is Dixon. How are you?
Oh, wow! This is so strange. I thought we were done with the show, Ice.
No,
we're back.
We're back. Yeah, we're back. Oh, we're back.
I would have no idea. News to me. Should we let the audience know how fragile this creative ship is?
Yeah, let's let them know. I might have overbooked myself. This is totally my fault. I might have completely overbooked myself. I just couldn't. I think I've been away or doing something the past. Oh man, I don't know. Probably since I saw you last, honestly, in June, at the end of June, I would say.
Yeah,
it's been going play, and probably. Like I would not be able to. I definitely wouldn't be able to perform on my end as far as getting the technical team to edit and upload and do all this stuff, because at the same time I'm doing other things and then getting ready to go somewhere, and then it would just fall apart, and it would be even worse, I would say. And
yeah, it'd probably be worse. Yeah, big time letdown for sure.
Yeah, it would definitely be a letdown. I know I'd be leaving for vacation, be like, oh, I'll just upload that next week, and it'd be a whole thing. And I didn't want to let Dixon down. I didn't want to let the team down. I didn't want to let our viewers down, most of all. But that's good. That's the whole reason I overbooked myself, and I really did. Even my wife told me, she's like, you were the one that planned all these things. Like, that's why we're doing. Because like at one point I was so burnt out. I'm like I can't do this anymore. I'm like, we have a vacation after vacation, and she's like, well, yeah, because you planned it, like with
yes.
Yeah. So
wow, what a problem I have. I have so many vacations. Oh, the viewers can't do it. They can't handle it.
Okay, well,
pal, I was this close to walking away. I said, you know what? I'm done. I've had enough. We just the fans deserved content. We couldn't do it. I felt like a sham.
You know what? And I completely understand. Why you would say that. But then you know what? I looked at our metrics, and I'm like, wow. You can't walk away from this.
I'll tell you what. Somehow our subscribers increased exponentially when we didn't make anything new. So maybe they don't want to hear from us at all. Yeah, we just stop this whole thing.
I tell you what, interesting fact. Longtime viewers of the show, and Dixon, I know you'll find this interesting. Do you remember? You got to think way back now. And you remember the Wizard of Oz: Dark Side of the Moon? I think it was our first video.
Yeah, it's one of the first things. Yeah.
So all of the sudden, within the last week, that has spiked over with thousands of views over the past few months. Yeah, like in the last month, 3,000 views out of nowhere. It just out
of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Also, quick update: our Dave Matthews Band video, which I didn't think was going to get anything, up to 2K views, which is thank you everyone.
Yes,
thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, big hit. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos that are sitting there. I think people, the algorithm might treat it right because it's just it's evergreen content. You know what I mean? We talk about a lot of music topics, and I think people are interested in that.
Yes, for sure, definitely. I feel like we have a wide scope for the most part. Everything else we get stuff covered. But yeah, so
for sure.
Anyway, from what I understand, you have a pretty good comment of the week, right?
Yes, I do. I have a great comment of okay, I'm sorry. Comment of the last 18 weeks. just been sitting there. Okay. I got a bone to pick with this guy.
Oh boy, okay, interesting.
It's he really fits a certain a typical character that you would think of when you talking about a band gatekeeper. That's what we're talking about here. So this one comes from our Dave Matthews Band video, and in that video I kind of acted as a quote unquote, I guess, expert, whatever you want to call it, and we listened to 5 songs that I said were my favorite from the pre-2000s era Dave Matthews Band, correct?
Yes, right. Yeah, it was good. I was good. Yeah, for sure.
I had fun. Now, this might not mean anything to people, but okay. I picked a song called JTR, John the Revelator. I like the guitar in it. I thought it was great. And I picked some more mainstream songs that I still thought were nonetheless good. But this guy, user TZ2ZZ5IJ1S,
Yes.
had something to say about it. And here was his response to our video. He said, start off, GTR is terrible. It's gotten a rebirth in fandom because of how rare it's played. Dancing Nancy's is not a deep cut. You are someone that liked DMB, but never were into them. Definitely never in touch with them live and that whole scene. This whole podcast is cringy because you pretend to be something that you are not, a Dave Matthews Band fan. You are like a deadhead. Listen to this. You are like a deadhead saying Touch of Grey is the best Grateful Dead song.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he steps in to list the most, like, this is probably one of the most basic, like the quote unquote, like super hardcore Dave Matthews Band fans would say goodbye, Two Step, The Stone, Halloween, and Last Stop.
Okay.
And
that's his top 5.
Yeah, it is. Okay. And you know what's really funny is that I was going to put a lot of these and I just couldn't pick them out. I was like, right. This guy would say Halloween is like a deep cut. I know that. Okay. Halloween's a great song.
Okay.
Say Goodbye, that's probably one of my, honestly, all these songs are some of my favorites. But the point is what I'm trying to get at is that this guy, it's very cringe what this guy is doing.
Yeah.
This guy has no idea. Now, Dixon, I think you could vouch for everyone that I listen to Dave incessantly.
Yes.
Like too much.
And I would say too, I think it was pretty obvious in the way you delivered the content you delivered. You were well versed in it. You definitely are a Dave Matthews guy if you listen to the actual what you were saying.
Yes, and you know what? Out of any band, if you were to say I was a fan of it, would be Dave Matthews Band because I followed them the most. I mean, I used to be able to listen to the first note of a song. Remember I used to tell you this, the first note of a live song, and I used to be able to tell you like which live tracks that was from.
Right.
Like,
yes, for sure.
You know, but whatever. That doesn't even matter. It's just the fact that this guy thinks because I didn't pick the songs that he liked that I just don't know what I'm talking about. And I was never a Dave Matthews Band fan. I just thought that was kind of funny.
That's quite the accusation in reality.
I know, and usually it is, and usually Dave Matthews Band fans are. I thought they were chill, but I
yeah. What happened to the chill? What's going on with that? That's wild. There should be that. There's that chill aspect to Dave Matthews for sure.
Yeah, and you know, usually you go to their concerts, which I've been to several of. Which this guy says I haven't been.
You haven't been to these concerts at all, and you're not familiar with that whole scene.
Yeah, you know what? It would have been hilarious if I should just make a follow up and just say Every Day is the best song that Dave Matthews Band has ever made.
That's what I would probably say it is.
I know. I should actually respond and just be like, actually, you don't know what you're talking about, dude. Every Day is the best song that Dave Matthews Band has ever made.
That's awesome. Even I know it's a piece of trash. Yeah, but no,
I know.
I get what that's he just completely. I don't think he gets it.
Yeah, I think and honestly, Dancing Nancy's maybe not a deep cut, but I guess what I meant to say is like no one really. If I walk up to someone and I said, "Oh, you hear Dancing Nancy's by the Dave Matthews Band," no one's gonna know what that is. 99% of the public is not gonna know.
No, they're not gonna know what that is. No, they're not. They're gonna have no idea.
Right. So I just
yeah. Well, whatever. User TZ, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah.
Good job. That was pretty funny. But anyway, Dixon, I hear you have a comment the last 8 months.
I have a comment too. The comment is from 3 weeks ago. Where is Ice and Dixon? No new video in 3 weeks.
No
this
way.
Is from Lavatory Lady 97. Yes. Yes, that's also on the Dave Matthews Band video. Yes. Yes.
Who said?
So rumors were swirling.
Oh,
this person, well, it says lady, so I'm assuming lady. Lavatory Lady 97. I don't know what that username is. It's kind of weird, but
that is actually pretty fun. I'm looking at it right now.
So yes, the rumors were flying.
Jeez. Well, I mean, I feel like we got to respond to this one too. A lot of commotion. Wow, now I feel bad.
Yeah, a lot of commotion for sure. Crazy. Let's get nervous there.
I know. Wow. I guess our fans really care about us.
You know how it is. These guys, they get married, they move on, they forget about how it is. That's how it's. It happened time and time again.
Yeah, I never left. I never left. Here.
I never left. Well, that's good. Well, hey, at least there's some peace at the fan base, hopefully after this video.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. Really appreciate it. Even that guy that tore us down. Thanks for the view. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, absolutely. Hey, we're equal opportunity employer here. We accept it all. So
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Very good.
Yeah. So what are we talking about in today's video here, Dixon?
So the last couple weeks have been, I guess, kind of exciting for Kanye West. Yay, right? So he released a few weeks ago. He released Vultures 2.
Yes.
And so I had listened to that, and he released it, but it was kind of like I don't even know if he like announces these things anymore, if they just kind of show up. But he has like all this stuff coming out all at once. Like he had a new song a couple days ago, 9 days ago he released. He has all these things kind of happening at once. And I think he uses, I don't know if he uses Instagram or what, but they're out there and they're accessible. But I don't know. I guess I'm not in the loop, maybe. I don't really hear about them until I look it up.
I think you have to look for it. I don't think it's like out there. Yeah.
Right. So releases Vultures 2. And at the same time, Milo Yiannopoulos. Remember Milo Yiannopoulos?
Yes.
Yeah, he had kind of that 15 minutes of fame with the alt right.
I remember.
4chan,
I'll never forget.
Yeah. Yes. Remember the days of 4chan? We had no normies allowed. Yeah.
I miss that. It was funny.
You know, it's funny watching memes. The political conventions and like watching the RNC and the DNC, and I'm watching the RNC, and everything was like so normal. Mm-hmm. I remember like in 2016 how not normal it was.
I know. I kind of miss that.
They had the Kek flag, the Kekistan flag and stuff. Like there was such random stuff.
I know. all the Pepe memes, and like 4chan was like a big movement behind like Trump and the RNC at that time. It was wild.
Yeah, I mean it was wild. But so anyway, so Milo is evidently connected to Kanye West closely at this point.
Right.
In the last couple, I guess, the last year or so. I mean, I think he was on the interview that he did with Alex Jones. Like the last few years, Milo's been in Kanye's circle. So as they're releasing Vultures 2, the Ye and Ty Dolla $ign, Milo puts on X that Kanye and his friendship has been ruined because Kanye's dentist has gotten him addicted to nitrous oxide. He is unable to function. It's changed his personality. Changed who he is, changed him as a person, completely different than completely different and worse than what everybody else is used to, and this is really impacting his career. And at the same time, it's like almost in tandem, he released Vultures 2, and I didn't hear anything much about that story. Mm-hmm. But so I picked up Vultures 2. I didn't pick up. I put it up on YouTube, and I'll tell you what. So I listened. My favorite songs on Vultures 2. There was 3 really good songs. And what Vultures 2 reminds me of, and in particular these few tracks, it reminds me of old Kanye West.
Yes.
And so it starts with Slide, and Slide has sort of this operatic quality to it. It has like this background track that it makes you think it's going to like just jump into hyperdrive at any second. I thought that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Time Moving Slow after that, right? I think Time Moving Slow is sort of, it almost seems like it's introspective Kanye. Like he's like, oh, you know, not to be maybe verbatim, but essentially says, I miss that bitch a lot. Yes. Something along those lines, right? And so he's like, I think it's like an introspective Kanye. But then you get into Field Trip, and Field Trip is just kind of this really bubbly, I don't know, just it reminds me of post graduation day, that
right.
Make You Stronger Kanye era, like that kind of reminds me of that. Mm-hmm. And then my favorite song on the whole album is 530. And it seems like it's the most rough vocal track. It's like they recorded it like on a tape recorder in a basement. Like it's a really rough, non-polished vocal track with a beat. But the lyrics on it are fantastic. And it's just so funny. I just wanted to point a couple of these out to you. So he's talking about these kids.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna. I didn't have anything to add. Sorry.
Oh no! All right, no worries. So he's like, okay, I'm drunk texting. I should probably sue Patron. So it's the price of the Liddy nights. I know the liquor hitting. Why when somebody break your heart, it help fix your vision. If you fall in love with a demon or a diva, pray your soulmate got a soul when you meet her. Right? So follow up is the crystal ball couldn't tell me if they'll leave again. Problems too extra large to share with a medium.
Wow.
I think that's so funny. At the end, so you don't really love Ye. Go listen to Drake, bitch. And he goes, go listen to Little Baby. Go listen to Future, bitch. Go listen to Future. and then it is, and the part of the lyrics are like he's just kind of like just making like nonsense syllables. Wanna tonna dunna dunna, can't fa-na-na-na da, you fake bitch. Like it's like just it is so, it's so funny. But the lyrics, I love the lyrics, and I just think they were fantastic. So,
see, that's really only, I think that's the magic of Kanye, because like only Kanye I feel like could pull that off. I feel like if anyone else was doing that, it wouldn't make any sense.
Absolutely, 100%.
But he could make that ridiculous song while also giving you amazing lyrics. Like those are hilarious. That's really
it's hilarious. Isn't that hilarious? And the other one too, I just found it. It was looking for blessings that God'll hand me. I'm just trying to raise the family. Somebody should raise the nanny. I'm trying to leave you alone, but that last text was courtesy of Patron. I mean, that's pretty poetic.
That is. That's it's great. Very relatable. It's poetic. It hits.
Yeah, for sure.
It works. People make fun of Kanye. Like there's that South Park where he's like, "Oh, I'm a lyricologist," and like they make fun of him for that. But I honestly think that he is an artist in his own right. I honestly do. And I listened through Vultures 2 as well. I'm not really as familiar. I only did like a one-time listen through. But
yeah, right.
I will say, and if you look at our first Vultures review, we mentioned this, and I felt Kanye's performances in those Vultures 1 tracks, I feel like it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't great. It didn't really give that punch. I almost felt like he was just like not all in it, and I don't know if that was purposely or whatever. But in this one, I think he knocks it out of the park. Honestly, I do. Like he has a lot of stuff that he really hits on. And Vultures 2 overall, if I had to say like which one I like better, I feel like Vultures 1 has more maybe like bangers, maybe more like that people are gonna like listen to. Like, you know, you have Carnival on there, which is like a huge song. And what else was on there? Hood Rat, like there were a couple good ones on there. But Carnival is like the big one that sticks out to me. That was like number one.
Yeah.
But
you hear that quite a bit now.
You do, and like I thought that was huge. And like maybe Vultures 2 doesn't have that Carnival's song, but I feel like I feel like every song is put together better.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought the exact same thing. Yeah, I really did. And so we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, when I was listening to that 530, 530, I think I was cracking up, man. It was so funny.
That's great.
Like, I know, it's like, because it hits you like, it's like, oh wow, you better make sure your soulmate has a soul. And it's like, nah, fuck you, bitch. Just like,
out of nowhere, just throw that in there.
It's so funny, man. I'll tell you what,
that's such a Kanye thing to do. And it's funny that you mentioned go listen to Future, bitch. I was watching an interview because I'm like, what's the latest interview that Kanye's done? And he actually did it with him and T.Y. Dollar Sign and Big Boy, not Big Boy from Outkast, but this guy who like has a podcast. And he actually calls out like those people that he mentioned in the song when he's like, "Oh, go listen to Future, bitch." But go listen. And he's from his point of view, and then he says in the interview, he influenced them. He's the one that brought them to where they are. That's his take on it, I guess. So
yeah, I could probably see that. I think I could probably see that. I think that you know, any you grew up listening to Kanye if you were active here, you know. I think so.
$1,000,000%. I feel if you're a big rapper now that just came up within, I don't know, the past 5 years or 5-10 years, you listen to Kanye, you were definitely influenced by him in some capacity, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. absolutely.
But yeah, no, this is definitely a pretty good album. And that interview, guys, you should probably check that out because it's kind of an interesting look. It's Kanye not like super manic, and he kind of just opens up about like making music and what him and Dolla did, and how they made the track together, how they work off each other. They really get into like the artistic way of it, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, and like, but the life they're like, yeah, we were making the album, we had to fly to Paris and we had to go to Dubai, and then we had to get the strippers, of course, you know, it's a lot of money making, and like they just say that like he's like, it's a lifestyle, that's what you do, you get strippers, you invite them to the recording booth, and it's like, okay, wow. That's, I guess that helps them, I don't know,
that's it. Well, that's wild.
Yeah, it's an interesting listen for sure.
I'll have to check that out. That's awesome.
Yeah, but speaking of Kanye, we like Vultures 1, we like Vultures 2.
We do.
Did you see what happened with our friend Zach Bryan?
So I heard about this.
Yes. So
I heard that he's under some hot water, as they say. Huh?
Yeah, and it's kind of embarrassing because he didn't really even do anything bad. But I think where he really messed up is where he incurred the wrath of Taylor Swift.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Now, this is all he tweeted. He said, Eagles, he did the greater than symbol. Eagles over Chiefs, Kanye over Taylor. Who's with me? That was it.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, come on. Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious.
I know.
It's funny.
He had to do this huge apology, though.
Oh my gosh.
This huge apology. He says, I know there's a lot of stuff that clouds around Ye, and I was speaking purely musically. I love Taylor's music and pray you guys know I'm human, and I tweet stupid things often. Now, why do you have to say it? Like, it's just a joke. Right. Who cares?
It's a joke. Yeah, this isn't a serious thing in reality. Eagles over Chiefs. That's a hilarious comparison.
It is.
It's hilarious.
Oh man! And he continued on here too. He's just going on. It's kind of pathetic. He said, "I respect her so much as a musician that the last thing I want is people thinking I don't appreciate and love what she has done for music."
Oh gosh! Oh brother!
It's like, is she even touchable anymore? Can you even criticize her? I feel like, you know what? It's kind of sad to say. I feel like if you're in the industry,
right, you
cannot go after Taylor, or it's curtains for it's over.
No, there's no way.
Your record deal is going to drop you. It's just. It's not a good look. Again, going back to Kanye, how these people in the record industry control you and tell you what to say and not to say, and
yes.
So a little similarity there, but I thought that was interesting that he tweeted that, and that was the first thing I read on the headline, that Zach Bryan tweeted something. I'm like, okay, so what? Like, who cares? He tweeted something about Taylor Swift, and then it goes on, and he's like, oh, I was drunk and I apologize, and he actually deleted his Twitter account because of it.
Oh my God, unbelievable!
I know, it's kind of sad.
Oh man, that is pretty sad. That's pretty pathetic. I mean, you can't have an original thought. You can't have a thought.
I know, yeah.
About Taylor Swift, damn it.
I know. That just feeds into more power for her, honestly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Speaking of her power, did you see that? So you see the other social media dust up involving Taylor Swift?
No, but I love this stuff. What happened?
You see that Trump truthed?
Oh.
I hate Taylor Swift.
All caps.
All caps. I'm like, man, I'll tell you what. But it's so funny because it comes after Taylor Swift posts on Instagram. 11 million likes, probably in counting, on that post on Instagram of her and her cat. And that she's done her research. She endorses Kamala Harris, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to say, like, did anybody think that for a second Taylor Swift was going to vote for Trump?
No.
Did anybody think that for one single second?
No.
I've done my research. Dude, come on. You know,
we all knew where she was going. Like
right. And you hate to say this, but there's this. The more you feed into it, because it's like, you talked about Taylor Swift, and you have this general whatever. You could say whatever you want. Maybe you like her music, maybe you don't. Regardless, she's everywhere. Whether you like her or not, she's everywhere. The NFL is now the Taylor Swift league. It's over. You watch the Chiefs, it's impossible to see anything but Taylor Swift on that screen.
Oh yeah, they cut to her almost every play.
Right, exactly. Even when the Chiefs are on defense, it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. But anyway,
I don't know.
You have her. She's the young girls love her music. The parents are spending thousands of dollars to go see her. Some are traveling overseas because the tickets are cheaper, from what I understand.
Wow, that's wild. Yes.
You see her social media presence, like I said, 11 million likes, right? And she's making, and this is in the more recent posts. This post had gotten the most likes out of all of them, and we're talking in the millions, the mid-millions of likes on these posts. I don't know how many are bots. A million? You think a million are bots?
But I'm sure there's some bot activity for sure.
There's got to be some. I'm not saying it's all bots, but I'm saying there's got to be some bot activity, just like anybody else that's big,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
There's got to be. If I'm a parent, which I'm not, thank God, probably, is that in the back of your mind, if your daughter's a Taylor Swift fan, you got to have a little bit of fear, in the sense that everything Taylor Swift says, does, tells you to do, or tells you to believe, the Swifties buy into it immediately.
Right.
There's got to be that fear there.
It's terrifying, really, if you think about it.
Right. I mean, what is she? The thing is that every institution is on her side. Everything is on her side. So when you have this power and you can wield it however you want, I mean, that's got to be a dangerous thing from a parenting perspective, I would think. What do I know? Maybe I'm being a little bit overdramatic. That's what I would think in the back of my head.
I mean, I would absolutely be worrying about it.
Yeah.
It's just her. I think the constant victimhood thing has a play on these Swifties' mind as well. It has to warp them in some fashion, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. as a parent, I feel like you're helpless to, like, if Taylor says something that goes against your parenting, hey, Taylor comes first in their minds. I mean, that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really scary. It's a sad state of affairs. And though everybody was reporting, the comments are off, the comments are limited. The comments are limited on all these posts. And I would like to see what the comment section actually looks like. Have they ever had like an honest moment of like a comment section on a Tayll Swift post?
I'd love to
because
see it.
Like I'd love to see it too, because it's everyone's like, oh, she turned off the comments. Well, she didn't really turn off the comments. I mean, that's just how the page is kind of operating, it seems like. Right. Yeah. But it's just to me, it just seems like such a scary thing. That like in every aspect of life, there's some connection to Taylor Swift, or Taylor Swift is being heard or being pushed or shared or something. Mm-hmm. And just I just don't know. And like I said, and it didn't matter to me. Nobody on earth expected her to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump." But if she really wanted to create a social experiment, I wonder what that would look like.
I can't even imagine. Like, I'm trying to think about it, but that would like upend society. That would upend society. It would. I think. I don't even know what would happen. I feel like the Swifties would just follow her full on, be like, "Oh yeah, she's right."
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's got to be that. I mean, you know what drives me effing crazy, and maybe we spend too much time on this, but
well, what's that? Speak your mind. Let's hear it.
But it's when you have the men involved, and the men, it's fine. You go to something that you want to go to, your significant other, whatever, wants to go to. Fine, I get that, right?
Sure.
Maybe you don't go. Maybe she has friends that she wants to go to a show with, or had that movie. Remember they had an Eras Tour documentary in the theaters.
Yes.
Who cares?
Yeah,
maybe I get drug along. Maybe somebody else gets drug along, or maybe you go with your friends. Whatever. There's there. I'm not going to say don't go, but who cares, right? Mm-hmm. But to the degree that some of these men are involved, did you see the one that was in? He was instructed to propose to the girlfriend during a certain series of songs at the live show. And then the one, they got married during a certain series of songs at the live show. As a male, I'm not misogynistic at all, but as a male, I feel like that would kind of like, I would say, I don't think I'm really gonna do this. Yeah, yeah, you know, I don't know.
I told you know it would honestly like crush my spirit to be like, okay, you're in love with someone, and then suddenly they're like, oh, I want you to propose to me during this certain set of songs, and like, I'd be like, I don't know.
Right. Once it gets to that point, when it gets to that point that you're like, okay, you're 2, 3, 4 years invested in, you get to this point, and you're faced with that reality.
That's a good question. That's a man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know. It would be soul. It would be a gut punch for sure. It would be a gut punch. You know,
goodness.
It's no longer a thing between two people who are in love and like they're going to spend the rest of their life. It's a big. It's like, well, we have to appease to Taylor Swift. It's like, oh, I thought this was just between me and you. Like we're getting married, not.
You have to appease to Taylor Swift. That's pretty good. It's true. You're right.
Yeah, that's a good question. That should be like man, we should post like a poll or something.
Yeah.
If your significant other 4 years into your relationship said you had to propose during the Eras tour during a certain song, well, how would you respond?
I think, you know, it's so funny because, you know, you talk about anybody that goes after Taylor Swift, they're done. It's immediate. And it's interesting. You can make that parallel to the NFL too, because Patrick Mahomes has kind of become the new Tom Brady. I like Patrick Mahomes. Right. I think he's a really good player. He's got a decent reputation. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I think they're overrated and I don't know, just overpraised. But Patrick Mahomes is getting into that sort of untouchable aspect in the NFL as far as the referee calls and everything else. And that's the same principles happening. And it's because they're the media kings, you know, the Chiefs with the Taylor Swift thing.
I mean, it's almost like a marketing thing. It's like, well, we want him to perform well, you know, maybe ease up on it, and then it's like, okay, well, Taylor's going to be at all the games, so we have to cut to her every so many minutes. Like, I guarantee the production crew has a standard that says cut to Taylor after every big play or every like 15 minutes of airtime or something like that. I guarantee.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be a quota for Taylor on camera.
Right, because it's like, hey, this makes us money. Here's what we're doing. Taylor's huge. She's untouchable as well. We got to do it. Yeah.
I think that's what's going to take down Trump because, two assassination attempts, lawsuits, whatever. I mean, he has this tour T-shirt on the website. Donald Trump making very great with like the era's imagery behind.
It's unbelievable.
His mug shots on it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I haven't seen this. I gotta see this thing. What is he selling on his website?
I saw a reel on it, and the meme was like, "This might be the thing that takes down Trump."
Oh my god!
Bootleg Taylor Swift merchandise. It's pretty funny.
Man, I don't know. Let me just one. I guess one thing to wrap this up. Are we ever gonna be out from under the thumb of Taylor Swift? Are we gonna ever like surface in our lifetime?
In our lifetime, that's a really good question. That is a really, really good question.
I don't know. I mean, how old is she now? How long could she keep doing this? I mean, she's.
At some point she's got to get married or something, right? I mean, like at some point she's got to like settle down, right? I'm not saying that because don't come at me. I'm not saying that because she's a female and a childless cat lady, self-described. I'm saying at some point she's got to have like an adult experience, I would think.
Well, yeah. Eventually, you know, you love someone so much, you see yourself with them forever. So it's what you do. That's what happens.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of that, so two real quick things before we go.
Yes.
Speaking of social experiments, you see one of our peers, one of our colleagues, Nikado Avocado.
Yeah.
Completely put everybody on for like 2.5 years.
That was pretty crazy. That was impressive that he did that.
That was really something, man. And boy, it got to be like an Ozempic thing because he's like bone skinny, dude. Like he's like wasting away.
It wouldn't surprise me. I think it had to be some kind of Ozempic thing. Has to be, because you're right. He's real thin, and it doesn't look like the body that you get like working out while eating healthy. It's kind of just like what do they call it? He's not even really skinny fat. He's just like skin and bones, really.
Yeah, just skin and bones. Yeah, for sure.
That was pretty wild, though. That was a pretty wild experiment. I thought that was pretty pretty neat to do that.
Yeah, speaking of social experiments, yeah, that's for sure. And then big time breaking news: Bob Dylan biopic coming out, starring Timothy Chalamet, whatever. He was in Dune. The guy who was the new Willy Wonka is playing Bob Dylan.
No way.
And I saw the trailer, and I'm pretty sure Timothy is singing Bob Dylan in the movie, and because it sounds like Bob Dylan, but it sounds also, hearing Timothy's voice sounds like Timothy singing Bob Dylan, and it's a really, really interesting thing. And it looks like it plays up his arrival in New York City, and then his stardom in the early '60s, and he's there with his really, really interesting scene already in the trailer is he's playing at Cafe Wah with Joan Baez on stage, and they're sharing a glance, and they're sharing looks, and they're getting along. And there's Dylan's girlfriend, I don't know if girlfriend or wife, Susan Dillon, who's on the cover of the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, and she's just staring, and you could tell she knows that there's something happening between Bob Dylan and Joan Baez. I'm really excited for it. And the lore has it that Joan Baez had an abortion of Bob Dylan's baby, like in the mid '60s.
Do you think they'll cover that stuff in here?
I don't know if they will. That's the lore. That's the lore around it. I don't know that's not confirmed. I don't think. But the rumor is that Joan Baez, potential to be probably the greatest folk musician of all time. Not that they aren't already, the two of them, but yeah, it looks like it dives into some of his early relationships anyway, and then his arrival and his start and everything else. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Wow, the director of Walk the Line and Ford versus Ferrari. Wow. Those are really good movies too. I'm just gonna say I've actually seen them, but
they're pretty good, right?
This this looks really good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
We definitely have to do a discussion on this one when it comes out for sure.
Discussion group for sure. So yes, so I guess we could say we are back here now.
Believe it or else.
Yes, believe it or else. Yeah, believe it or else. Very good.
Well, guys, thanks for sticking with us. We really, truly appreciate it. I again apologize profusely. I will be free though, and we will return to weekly releases. I promise, and we'll give a response to Miss Laboratory.
We're back. So ridiculous.
I know,
so ridiculous. I mean, that's pretty good. That one single listener out there really wanted to hear from us.
I know. Yeah, that's really nice. That's cool. I'm glad.
It is cool, for sure.
But all right, guys, and I mean it this time. We will see you next week.
Peace.